A Republican Supreme Court justice may have just executed one of the single greatest acts of sabotage against left-wing radicals on the court and the media in American history. It will change the court forever. And to understand all of the context, you need to understand the Dobbs decision leak. Dobbs, of course, famously overturned Roe v. Wade. It is the biggest decision in modern Supreme Court history, one of the most consequential decisions ever, and it caused great panic on the left because it leaked. Now, this has never happened before in the history of the Supreme Court. But somebody leaked this decision to the media, and they published it, and it was an accurate leak. They got information from inside of the Supreme Court, the highest levels of Supreme Court staffers and justices have access to the rulings and the decisions and the reasoning of the Supreme Court justices as they are writing them before they are released for obvious reasons. But this one leaked, and it might have killed a couple of Supreme Court justices. The purpose of this is, of course, to activate left-wing militias to go kill conservative justices so maybe you can get this overturned. That was the purpose of all of this. It was absolute and total subterfuge, and it was meant to be deadly. So did they find the leaker? Of course not. Justice John Roberts directed the marshal of the court to launch an investigation, but they never did anything. You know what you could do? You just grab the reporter. His name's Josh Gearstein from Politico, and you could just put him under oath, go through his phone, go through his email, and just say that, this is a national security situation. By the way, after this leak, Brett Kavanaugh attacked in his home. Amy Coney Barrett attacked at her home. Justice Clarence Thomas had to cancel all of his public appearances, has to have Secret Service. The intention was to murder Supreme Court justice. So this should have been taken extremely seriously. I will note that this leaked on May 2nd, 2022. Why that date is important is because Ketanji Brown Jackson, DEI hire, an illegal Supreme Court justice because of it. You're not allowed to hire people based on discriminatory practices, race and gender, but that's exactly what Joe Biden did here. She joined the court just a month earlier. That seems a little suspicious to me. And I hear it on high authority that it was Ketanji Brown Jackson personally who leaked this. I have great sources at the Supreme Court. But anyway, the point is that it got leaked anyway. And they never found the leaker. And so the Supreme Court now is asking, what next? Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Samuel Alito retiring. Or that's according to NPR, which published a article that says Justice Samuel Alito, who's of course a staunch right-winger and probably the best justice this side of Thomas, wrote opinion overturning Roe, retires. Oh, well, that's interesting. It's an interesting headline too, that this is what they're gonna, lock him into, overturning Roe. It's almost like, this would be a cause for great celebration for the left, except for it's all fake. According to the Wayback Machine, NPR article announcing Alito's retirement was supposed to be published on Friday. Retired on Friday. What? Editor's note, NPR retracts Justice Samuel Alito's story. We erroneously published a story saying Samuel Alito was retiring. Neither Alito nor the court's public information office has announced his retirement. We retracted the story. Oh, well, that's interesting. Oh boy, NPR reported Justice Alito was retiring and retracted it 10 minutes later, saying it was published in error. NPR retracts false report. Okay. Full statement from NPR editor. Due to the misunderstanding, NPR's Court and Legal Affairs correspondent, Nina Totenberg, incorrectly reported that the Justice Samuel Alito had retired. The Supreme Court has not said this. As soon as the error was realized, the story was retracted, and we issued an on-air correction. We regret the error. This is, of course, government-funded media, obviously. But you can see here in these screenshots from NPR that this lady worked for a long time on this piece. So one of two things are true. One, maybe she's expecting this and pre-writing something and accidentally hit save draft. She accidentally published it when she meant to hit save draft. And maybe that's what's going on here. Or this was a canary operation. What do I mean by that? Well, potentially, this could be a smoking out of the leaker who was leaking to left-wing media about Samuel Alito. And if Samuel Alito identified who this leaker was, if he perhaps he just told Ketanji Brown Jackson, and then you see if it gets reported in the media, and if he just told Ketanji Brown Jackson, and then it goes up on NPR, you know who your leaker is, right? Wonder if Alito was trying to smoke out a leaker with the retirement news and caught them red-handed, especially since it was his opinion in the Dobbs that was leaked, right? Did Justice Alito just canary trap Dobbs and Jackson leaker? This is literally how a canary trap works. You give false information to somebody, see if it gets written up or acted upon, and then you know who leaked it. Whether or not this was targeted at the Dobbs leaker or not is up for debate. The fact that Totenberg highlighted Alito's direct implication overturning Roe, paired with the leaker never being found or disclosed, is the basis for the projection. Very interesting. Justice Alito not retiring. NPR publishes a story from Nina Totenberg claiming Alito announced his retirement and then just retracted it with no explanation. Who was her source? Seems like a big whoops. I mean, did they actually mean to do this? The court made a serious mistake. Justice Alito on SCOTUS upholding birthright citizenship. Alito is just one of the all-time best. He's an incredible justice. And he may retire. Nobody knows. He may retire, but he may be smoking out the leaker here while he's doing it. If he does retire, Trump will get an unprecedented 4 Supreme Court justice picks. Let's hope he's smarter than his last 3, which Neil Gorsuch has been okay. He's been an 8 out of 10. Kavanaugh has been a 6 out of 10. And Amy Coney Barrett has been a 2 out of 10. Let's just hope. Let's hope for better this time. I actually talked to Brett Tolman about this exact issue, about how will Trump select his next Supreme Court justice if he gets one. And he told me they will not be making the same mistakes. Here you go.
And we were in awe of her intellect. And it's kind of the problem is we've put up the nerdiest of nerds, and they listen to their own internal intellect far more than they have the capability of reading the country, the room, the Constitution, or the statutes at issue.
How do we prevent this from happening? Obviously, you've been part of these nominations. As you said, you were there for the shepherding of John Roberts. You had the red flags, as the kids would say, on John Roberts. Yeah.
Well, there's, Justice Alito was, he was an example of a pick in which we had a really long record of his decisions. That's very key. You cannot go forward anymore without having a very long record on key issues.
Yes.
And so Alito's, NPR just put out today, Benny, that Alito has retired. And then they retracted it and said it was published in error, right? So I like the very living definition of fake news. If Alito were to step down, I know the candidates right now that are being considered, I have so much confidence that they are in the mold of Scalia and Alito and Gorsuch. And so I've seen them. I know that they have a long history of ruling and decision making. You cannot go forward any longer without a necessarily long and storied history and record by these justices on the appellate court to see how they're ruling on key issues like the First Amendment, Second Amendment, 4th, 5th, 6th, 14th Amendment, all of those things. If we don't have that, pass, go to the next one.
Exactly. No, you're exactly right. It's like enough of this vibes. It's like we play a DEI game. We play the same left. It's like vibes,
I just have a good feeling about that one.
It's weird.